All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you all are at. It is detachment launch day for the Necrons. Gosh darn it. I'm just as excited as you are. So I wanted to hop on live to the 60 of you that are already in here. Freaking crazy. Really appreciate you hanging out with me this morning and going over the launch. I wanted to jump on it, man. I had to get up early. I tell you what, to get ready for this. But I'm gonna be honest. It feels like Christmas. I mean, Santa Claus is coming for the Necrons. Okay, there's no way we can be disappointed, right? There's no way. It's just not possible. So feel free, drop your questions in the chat. Let's get talking with some ideas, some theory crafting. What we're expecting. Let me know when this launches on Warhammer Community here. But I just want to go through. We're going to go through the video together and then have the article up. So you'll just get my live reactions to things and what I think. And then after that concludes, then of course we can talk about some ideas for a little bit. I'll pull out the iPad. Maybe we can jump into the app, talk about some stuff. I mean, safe to say, we're gonna be theory crafting all weekend. It's gonna be great. So, yeah, it's awakening day. It's an awakening day for our dynasties. Let's go. Let's freaking go, man. I am so hyped for 11th. I mean, you know, it's like every new, I mean, do you guys feel like every new rule that came out, it benefits Necrons? I mean, I feel like we were probably the most. Do you guys think we were the most hated faction of 10th? That could be. That's going to be our first poll. That's going to be our first poll. Let's bring it up before this even drops. Okay. All right, here we go. So will Necrons remain the most, I won't say hated, let's just say disliked, okay? Let's be a little nicer. Will Necrons remain the most disliked faction for 11th? All right. You think it was Eldari? I mean, but here's the thing. Eldari, okay. Look, I get Eldari, you know, the tricksy. They're bobbing, they're weaving, all right? They're doing all that crazy stuff. But, you know, Eldari, their power level has been kind of like this, you know? Throughout 10th edition, would you guys agree? You know, so, you know, some up downs as you'd expect. I think what frustrates people the most, and look, I can't say I can disagree with them because Necrons, you know, it's like they were good, and then they'd nerf them a little bit, and then it just keep going, and then they nerf them a little bit, and then they just keep going. You know, I don't know. I mean, all right. So will Necrons remain the most disliked faction for 11th? Here we go. Boom. Let's see. All right. Yeah, super on brand that we didn't wake up until the last faction focus. Hey, true story. I love it. That's actually hilarious. Volans, do we think heavy destroyers with Numidics are gonna bully next edition? I think potentially. I think they're definitely back on the drawing board just because the AP won the high volume. I think as well with the Overwatch change being the end of the phase is also super interesting because of the fact that now we get to fully see our opponent move before making any decisions. I think is going to be very strong. So I would say their value is going up. Obviously, we're going to do a tier list, all that good stuff. We're going to have so much freaking content coming, guys. Like I can't wait. So it's going to be good times. Yeah, based on how the healing works as well, you know, okay, so with the whole healing thing, if you guys haven't been following, and also to the 100 of you that are freaking in here, crazy. Seriously, thank you so much for hanging out and checking out the Necron launch with me, myself, and I. Seriously appreciate you guys hanging out in here. So the healing, as far as I know right now, I'm going to be honest, guys, I didn't want to jump the gun on this and say anything, because I feel like YouTube content creators can kind of get a bad rap, especially in this time right now because of the rules. And it's like if you say something early and then people treat it as like that's the final say kind of thing. And so I've been trying to be very careful about, you know, talking about certain rules or that sort of thing before it's like official. It sounds like the healing thing. Basically, what they're saying is because leaders, you have to attach them before you deploy your army, so you don't get to kind of list tailor beforehand. It counts as all one unit, so the leader no longer counts as, I guess, essentially being attached to the bodyguard unit. They're all one unit. So because of this, like if you're very basic example, you're running 10 immortals with an overlord that has a resorb attached. If you kill the entire immortal unit and you leave just the overlord there by the end of the phase, you can pop the resorb and bring potentially D6, or if you're playing Awaken next to a reanimator, you know, you could just bring the whole immortal brick back, which, you know, it seems pretty good. It seems pretty good. So I want to wait until we see the full rule book to make sure that is the case. But a lot of things are pointing in that direction. Okay. So, yes, but everyone always hates Eldar even when they're bad, like right now. I mean, it's true. Knights had it for a hot minute. Yeah, Knights and Necrons like last summer, or Knights and Death Guard, crazy meta last summer. That was a wild time. Necrons had the longest amount of time across the entire edition, where we just heard. Yeah, I mean, true. Necrons most hated faction, 100%. Second, Custodes. Really? Why Custodes? That's a very interesting take. Give me more info on that. My opinion, anything that has fly goes up in points, so we have to wait and see where that lands for all factions before I can make an opinion. 1000%. I mean, Catan right now are literally benefiting from all of these changes. Like, I mean, I'm a little scared, but I feel like Catan need to be knocking on the door like 400 points now, personally. I feel like they just definitely cannot stay at the points that they're at, because literally you're telling me that they can go through walls now with -2 movement. They're going to be -1 to hit if they're freaking touching a terrain template. And then they can also shoot through it. Like, sign me up. Also, most of the boards, like if you look at all of the staging points on these boards, they're all like these little squares. And I don't know about you guys, but I keep looking at them and I'm like, well, there's a perfect Void Dragon pocket. There's a perfect Nightbringer pocket. Like, well, let's be honest. I mean, the Deceiver can literally fit anywhere. So he can go anywhere he wants. But, yeah, that is just, yeah, I'm very curious of how many points the Catan are going to go up, because with all these rule changes, you know, I'm just saying. The article should be up any time now, right? Right, guys? Yo, to the 125 of you that are in here now, freaking crazy. Thank you so much for hanging out. Just talking Necrons, waiting for the Warhammer community article to drop. Feel free to drop your thoughts in the chat, your questions. We're going to be going over it live together, giving you my live reactions, my initial hot takes, my opinions. That's what you're here for. Very excited to be hanging out with you all this morning, and you guys showing the support. So thank you. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even gotten to DDAs yet. I mean, look, Star Shatter and Awaken seem, look, I don't want to say crazy busted, but like, I mean, if you're telling me that my DDA is going to be able to pivot for free, move 16 inches, toe into terrain, and still shoot, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, with the free pivot, I mean, the DDAs are basically moving like 18 inches now, right? Basically, like if you pivot on the center, you're probably gaining, I mean, that's conservatively, you're probably gaining 2 inches, I'd say, at least. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, with AP changes, movement changes, Catan might need to be 30 points more expensive. Yeah, I would agree. I honestly, guys, would also not be surprised if the Void Dragon ended up out costing the Nightbringer. Like the Void Dragon was the new higher, just because his gun got so much better with that high volume AP1. And him being able to toe into terrain and just shoot that thing is crazy strong. Star Shatter is going to be 5 DP. Yeah, we can hope so, man. We can hope so. I mean, we'll see here. We shall see. My mate plays Necrons. I play Adari. I started Adari too late, and I've only ever known Nerf Hammer. Well, hey, I tell you what. Well, I started. So if you guys didn't know, I started. Tyranids is going to be my second army that I played or play in 11th edition. I'm still very much going to be playing Necrons as well, but I wanted to obviously branch out and play something that's literally the complete opposite play style. That is really not durable much at all. So I'm very excited for that. So if you guys are Tyranid players in here as well, there's going to be definitely content coming out about that as well. And also looking at collaborating with some other Tyranid peeps just to hang out, talk shop, because I just love nerding out over this game. It's just a good time. Yo, to the 160 of you that are in here, actually crazy. Seriously, thank you so much for hanging out. Waiting for this Warhammer community article to go live. Sorry that page does not exist. Let's see here what happened. Let's see what happened here. All right, well, Warhammer decided to, okay, Warhammer community. Why does it say the article, why does it say it doesn't exist? Am I missing something here? It's up. Are you guys getting this though? Dang. Okay. All right. All right. Never mind. Okay, we're good still. It's loading. Close and refresh. All right. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on. Hold tight, guys. Sorry. Technical difficulties here. Let me turn this off really quick and let me see what is going on here. That is so bizarre. I feel like I've never seen that happen. Yeah, same for me too. All right, I'm just going to leave it up because this is the first time I've seen. I feel like every other time. Yeah, Warhammer community. Yeah, I click on it. Hey, yeah, I click on it at the top and it still goes here. Yeah, I have the video. Yeah, I don't see the video yet on their YouTube either. It's not up there. It's not up there. All right, well, let's. Yeah, I mean Necrons, it's just like it's just already breaking it. It's just already breaking everything. Okay, well, somebody said it was already live, but why are some people able to see it and some aren't? I'm gonna be honest, guys. Has this? I feel like I've refreshed or like looked at. Just keep spamming. Just keep spamming F5. Honestly, actually hilarious. Yeah, we crashed the website. Too much traffic. Too much traffic. All right. Here, let me turn this off and try something. I mean, I will say. What was that? I will say. Oh, really? Okay. All right. We'll just hang tight here for a second. Well, you're the. All right. Yeah, we'll just hang tight here. So, anyways, while we wait for this to load, I think I'll look at it once it goes live on their channel. Okay, so we'll pull this back up just so we got something filling in the screen. But yeah, I think it would be really cool to Shmidty, what's up, man? What's up, yo? I think honestly, I hope they rework Annihilation Legion. I could see being one of them. Don't reload, restart the page. It's up. Man, everybody, y'all are debating me right now, man. Nothing's up. Yeah, it's not live yet. Oh, okay, it is. I see the Necrons. Okay, hold on, guys. All right. We're gonna get this set up here. Okay. All right, hold on here. Okay. I see the video. Okay, I do see the video, but I don't see the All right, let me reset this. Okay. All right, hold on here. Okay. To the 180 of you are in here, I'm glad you're witnessing the struggle right now. This is peak entertaining content right here. Okay, the YouTube video probably goes up first. Okay, I do have the YouTube video up. All right, it's right here. Okay, but I want to have the visual representation in front of me. Okay, or do we just watch the video? Do we just watch the video and then wait for the article to go up? Or it is up? Is it up? Oh, okay, it's working. Oh, it's up. Oh man, it's up. Okay. I don't want to cheat though. Okay, we gotta follow along. We gotta follow along together. Okay, we gotta follow along together. Okay, here we go. All right, you ready? I'm gonna shut my mouth and we're gonna enjoy every friggin' bit of this and soak it in. All right, here we go.
And welcome to the final installment in our Warhammer 40,000 Faction Focus series. I am joined by Emissary of the Silent King himself, Adam Camilleri, and today we are talking about the Necrons. Adam, thanks for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. Yeah, he wouldn't let me on the throne. Essentially, he sees me as just another men here, so I just float around from time to time. But we're here to talk about the final faction. We're going to be giving you guys a deep dive into that being the 3 brilliant detachments here for the Necrons.
So before we dive into the detachments themselves, how do we think Necrons are going to deal with the challenges of the new edition?
I think fairly well. Obviously, Necrons have been one of the best factions from the previous edition. They've been towards the top of the competitive metagame, or just having some of the most robust and consistent rules for the entire of the edition. So I think they're going to continue that momentum into 11th edition, but I think the vast majority of their units are going to handle a lot of the new questions being asked of us. The one I find interesting is that a lot of the designed armies that existed in the previous edition predicated around large bricks of warriors and wraiths, etc. They're going to struggle a little bit more with the action economy portion of the mission structure, but then they're going to play the basics portions, the holding of the objectives, the saturating.
But Adam, do we need to do actions? Do we need to I kind of want to just yeet my DDA 16 inches and just go kill stuff. I don't know.
Of the midboard extremely powerfully, so it most likely evens out.
Yeah. So you think we might see Necron armies with more of those smaller units, like your kind of flayed ones and tomb blades, that sort of thing, thrown into the mix alongside those big, durable monster vehicle and infantry blocks?
Yeah, so it remains to be seen, but you're going to have to reevaluate the balance between those. How many of the large, durable bricks do you take versus how many of the small units and the action pieces, the utility pieces that you take?
Great stuff. Well, let's dive straight into the detachments. The first one is Hand of the Dynasty.
Guys.
This is a detachment that buffs the battle line units in your army, the Immortals, the Necron Warriors. Very rare to see a Necron army without at least some of these in, right? So this makes those more powerful.
Exactly right. So your Immortals and Necron Warriors, your battle line units will just get Assault. They will just have Assault. In addition to that, when a friendly Necrons or Warriors or Immortals unit is selected to make an advance move, they can still perform an action. This is what I was saying about the action economy. Right now we see a lot of Warriors, not as many Immortals, and I think this is a great reason to bring some small units of Immortals back into your armies.
If you've picked, particularly if you're up against missions that ask you to do lots of actions,
correct.
This immediately
Oh my gosh, we are cooking. Okay. You know that video I just released yesterday? If you didn't see it, go check it out with the dispositions, me talking about actions. Yo, when a friendly immortal Necron unit range attacks have assault. So immediately, guys, I've been talking about immortals with AP1. You put them next to Xeris AP2. You put a Chronomancer in that unit. That brick is going to be -2 to hit because if they're in a terrain area, because the Chronomancer gives the unit -1 to hit. If you're in a terrain area, it's -1 ballistic skill, right? So they'll stack. So having this combo with giving them assault to advance and still shoot with those AP2 potentially lethals, and they can also still do an action. This is spicy, and this is only the first one. I like it already so far.
Immediately gives you those little 5-man unit of Immortals, which are one of the cheaper units in your army, advancing forward and shooting, or advancing forward, and doing those actions. Still quite durable when they get fired upon.
Yes. I quite like it. I think it's good. Giving Assault to Necron Warriors is one of the few abilities they do not have. You could give them, depending on what characters and what support pieces you put around them, you can really kind of give them whatever they kind of need. And Assault it's kind of been rare for them to have.
Speaking of other abilities you can give to Necrons, there are some enhancements that you can have in this detachment. One of them is for Warriors, one of them is for Immortals. We're going to look at the Immortal one today. It is Tools of Dominion, and it gives your Immortals Rapid Fire 1.
Yep, nice, clean, easy one here. Great on the Tesla carbines, getting more chances to get the sustained hits on the 6s and really ramp up the number of dice that you're throwing per unit.
Yeah, and it's pretty good on either of the guns, right? So you're either having sustained hits or you're having those lethal hits.
Exactly.
Both of them are great to fish for on the hit roll. You probably putting that on a reinforced unit, right, with like a 10-strong unit of Immortals.
Yeah, you'd think if you're going to put an enhancement on a squad, usually you want to be going for them.
Okay, guys, we need to talk. All right. So you're telling me, okay, I can bring 10 Immortals in Canoptic Court with a Plasmancer. You see where I'm going? And you're telling me that I can run some Gauze on there with Xeris and just launch this unit forward with full hit rerolls because of Canoptic, full wound rerolls because they're Immortals, and they're going to be AP2 with Rapid Fire 1 if they're within 12 inches. Seems good. Seems good. I think Immortals are going to sell out today. I don't think you're going to be able to find them anywhere. They're going to be sold on Amazon, eBay, everywhere. All right, let's continue. Sorry.
Maximum size of that squad.
Yeah, but quite a scary fire base at that point from that.
Yeah, especially into some of the things that do well into Necron Warriors. Of course, if Necron Warriors get caught in a grind situation against another numerous unit, they can find themselves just stuck there all game. And of course, if they have the same amount of objective control as you,
and big Tyranid units, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly right. And so just having like a decent chance to do a bit of screen clear before they go in, or horde clear from a unit of Immortals, does give you some assurances.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at a couple of the stratagems. We'll start off with Will of the Conqueror, and this effectively allows you to secure an objective with your Immortals or your Necron Warriors.
Correct. So one command point at the end of your movement phase, the best timing for this kind.
Oh, wait. This strat is not in the, hold on, I need to back up. It's not in the frickin', it's not in the article. Classic G-dub. Okay, hold on, let's listen to this again, sorry.
Of the Conqueror, and this effectively allows you to secure an objective with your Immortals or your Necron Warriors.
Correct. So one command point at the end of your movement phase, the best timing for this kind of ability, your Immortals or Necron Warriors will secure the objective. In fact, like, so you'll maintain control of that objective even if you move off it, have no miniatures on it. We've seen very different versions of this rule in the previous edition. They've all been homogenized into this one keyword called secured. Once you've secured an objective, you maintain control of it until your opponent makes.
Oh my. Oh my, man, we're only in the first one. All right, so we get sticky. All right, we got sticky, we got rapid fire, and we got advance and shoot freaking Immortals. So again, you're telling me we could put a Chronomancer in there. That unit is -2 to hit. I'm gonna go up on the central objective. I'm going to shoot some stuff with actually legit firepower now in the early game. And then you're going to tell me I can fire sticky it for a CP and then fire and fade off it? Cool. Real cool. Let's keep going. It really is Christmas, y'all. It really is Christmas. It's a great day to be a Necron player. It's a great day. All right, here we go. Let's go.
Not.
Yeah. And then the other stratagem we're going to look at is nano saturation. This is an ability to fire back at an enemy unit that targets one of your units. We know that Necrons are very durable. There's big blocks of Immortals, the very large blocks of Warriors you can have. This is a great stratagem on them.
Yes, this is good. So this is one command point. Your opponent's shooting phase when an enemy unit has targeted a friendly, of the two units we named, Immortals and Warriors. Unit can shoot using the snapshot, and when doing so, they can only target that enemy unit. So it's really kind of funny because a lot of people will try and do a little bit of chip damage to a unit of Immortals or a unit of Warriors, especially if you've got a unit of 20 Warriors. You'll want to try and kill it low enough that they can't reanimate back to full strength. So usually that means you're killing more than 9. Is the usual math that I go for. If I'm gonna try to hurt Necron Warriors at all, I'm gonna try to kill more than 9 of them. And so, you can try and make them pay for that. Be like, oh, you wanted to use a small unit of, say, gargoyles who might only kill 1 or 2, well, 20, like 18 shoot back at you on snapshots. Yeah. And it's actually quite fearsome. And the fact that you could combo that technically with a unit of 10 Immortals, snap shooting, with the assault, the rapid fire, the sustained, all those things. It actually gets pretty scary, man.
Yeah, there's some great combos. So
it does get pretty scary. I completely agree. This one, I think the other strat definitely is significantly better. The sticky, I think that is just fundamentally better. It's very strong. This is going to be more of like a fringe case. The one thing top of mind that I'm thinking of is, because the fact that this is going to trigger after your opponent shoot, so most of the time against really good players like Adam's talking about, is they're going to be able to gauge their damage pretty well, where, hey, whatever's activating into this, because I know you have this strat, I'm going to eliminate most of that unit, so you're not really going to get a lot of value out of this stratagem. Now, the one thing top of mind that I'm thinking about is the fact of the sequencing, if it's the same in 11th edition, where the controlling player gets to choose, where if I have like an Overlord or something like that in the unit, would I be eligible to use that Res Orb, bring most of that unit back, and then trigger the stratagem? I don't know. Top of mind, I don't know. But we'll have to see. So anyways, let's continue. This first one, honestly, guys, I'm not going to lie. It seems great. I love this. It gives us a different way to play. So this should be good.
Moving on to the next detachment, we're going to look at Sky Shroud Spearhead. This is a detachment that bolsters your Tomb Blades, but also has some great synergies with some of the mounted destroyer units.
Correct. So in this detachment, friendly Tomb Blade units will just have a deep strike, which is fantastic. Then when a friendly Tomb Blade unit is selected to shoot, if they made an ingress move this turn, as in they arrived on the table
like
this turn, yep, they will have +1 to hit in addition. So pseudo ignores cover in a roundabout way, but also just +1 to hit is a fantastic build.
That is true. Disregard the Res Orb. It is end of phase. You're correct. I'm thinking of the Awaken strat. Sorry. So if you're playing Awaken, Res Orb strat, bring the Immortals back, etc. Sorry. Let's continue.
Catching enemy units in the open is just excellent, right? So that's really good. A bunch of great enhancements and stratagems. Deepening Madness is one of the enhancements. It's an upgrade, which means you can give it to a unit. You can give it to any destroyer mounted unit.
Okay, so Tomb Blades have Deep Strike. That's really good. When a friendly Tomb Blade unit is selected to shoot, if that unit made an ingress move this turn, that unit's range attacks have +1 to hit rolls. Yeah, it seems cool. I'd say the first one's definitely better. But this is cool. This is fun. Let's see what else we got here. So let's let them talk.
And it means that the unit's ranged attacks now have assault. The already fast units, this makes them have an even greater threat range.
I like this one on a unit of 2 heavy destroyers the most, in my opinion. And we're taken with the gun that makes the most sense to you. A lot of the time when I'm playing, Master Militarum or my Imperial Knights, and my opponent has a couple of heavy destroyers with their, amazing Gorse cannons that are very deadly, I will do a lot of pre-measuring and try and keep myself off the lanes of fire away from those models because I can't afford to lose a Rogal Dawn to a single unit of 2 guys. And so this just really changes the output, giving assault to the unit, adding a potential 6 more inches to their threat range to get into the firing lanes, makes them a lot harder to avoid.
Yeah. Looking at some of the...
you know, I agree. The problem is I think there's too much overlap with Star Shatter, because I just get that innately, right? With Assault for them. So, you know, having to like spend a detachment point to then also give them Assault, I don't super love that. You know, this one seems fine. Also in the chat, very good call out. We can only use one strat per phase. That's going to come up more often than I think, guys. Like, especially with when we're so used to being able to like using command rerolls all the time and then popping a strat for something else. Like, that's gonna go away now. So that's a very good call out. So thank you for pointing that out. So that would not be an option to really res in general and use that strat. But the main benefit of that strat, I know some people had a question in the chat, is the fact that it's essentially you get like a better Overwatch where you're shooting, if I read it correctly, let me just make sure. Your unit shoots using snap shooting, but while doing so, your unit can only target that enemy unit. Maybe don't quote me on that. Is snap shooting... Does snap shooting specifically say you only hit on 6s? Is that... so this just gives you the ability to... Like, you could spend a CP to Overwatch with this unit, and then if they shoot at them again in the shooting phase, then you can shoot at them again hitting on 6s. Maybe somebody answer that in the chat, because I'm not sure top of mind. But let us know. All right, let's continue here. So far, this one seems okay. I mean, it's fine.
Stratagems, what I'm going to look at is evasive protocols. This is an ability that we've seen across a few different armies. Effectively, if you're targeting a Necron mounted unit, so Tomb Blades, but also lots of the Destroyer units, if the strength of the attack is greater than the toughness, -1 to wound.
This is really key. This is really good. I don't really have much more to say about this. It's a fantastic defensive ability.
So last up, we're going to look at the Pharaon's armor.
It's fine. This one is not even close to as good as the first one. That Immortal one, guys, freaking crazy, dude. Rapid fire, assault, sticky, and the freaking shoot back. Let's go. All right, final one. Here we go.
This is a really fun detachment, and it's basically about your Titanic fly units.
Yes,
which is the monolith.
Monolith detachment.
The great big floating pyramid.
So good. So this is Monolith and the Tesseract Vault specifically.
No.
Nothing else will be affected in your army, but friendly Necrons Titanic Fly units have +6 inches of movement. This is called Empowered Engines as a detachment rule, and oh boy,
very fast pyramids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the big issues. So it's a massive footprint unit. And of course, it's very imposing, takes up a lot of space on the table, but can come into some logistical issues negotiating around terrain and being able to clear the base past terrain features.
Guys, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Oh my, you telling me you could tell me I can move a freaking Tesseract Vault 14 inches? Oh my gosh.
And so this +6 inches move is kind of massive in the increase of the threat range.
It sounds massive. +6 move is great.
Huge.
Right? Like,
it's a massive, cinder block of a monolith.
It combines quite nicely with the new fly rules in the new edition, which previously you'd have to kind of measure up and over scenery pieces
Can't be combined with
navigate them. Now you just go take off 2 from my move and I can move fully.
That makes a lot of sense.
So effectively, take off 4 from my move and I can.
But I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think this might, if Obeisance Phalanx ends up being 2 detachment points. Start looking. I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yes, well, I'm getting +6 -2.
So add on 4 to my normal move is how far you can go over anything. It means your monoliths can basically leapfrog over large pieces of terrain.
I think this is massive, and this is so much fun. I love monoliths so much, and I want to see them on the table more often.
I love monoliths too.
Well, we might see them. There's a few great enhancements and a few great stratagems in the mix as well. The enhancement we're going to look at is pre-locational optimizer. You can give it to a Necron model, and if they come out of an Eternity Gate with a unit, that unit can have either lethal hits or sustained hits.
This is pretty good. It lines up very well into a couple of different shooting assets. So it's this turn as well. So it's the unit's range attacks, get lethal or sustained. It's quite nice. There's a couple of different units you can do this on, but I do like using this on just re-racking, reinforcing your infantry units into the fray.
Yeah, so really solid little enhancement. And then
Okay, Necron model only. When this unit is selected to shoot, if this unit was set up using models of turn negate ability this turn, this uses range attacks have lethal hits. Oh my. Oh my. So yeah, guys. Yep. Juniper, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. So you guys know how Immortals, they have these things called Tesla with Sustain 2. You're telling me I can bring them out of a monolith if I combine these attachments together, and they're going to be sus 2 with rapid fire lethal hits? Okay. That seems pretty good. Necro model only with the enhancement. This isn't an upgrade. So does this mean that it's not? Is this just attached to the unit, so I wouldn't need to bring a character? Maybe somebody answer that for the chat, or if we have clarification on that yet. But yeah, let's keep going. What is going on? This is great.
The strategy we're going to look at is subsurface quantum weave. As you might imagine, a giant pyramid is quite hard to kill already. They've got quite high toughness, great save, lots of wounds. This makes them even harder.
This is wild. This is Armor of Contempt. It's one command point your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase. It's fully fledged Armor of Contempt, people. That
so -1 AP.
-1 to incoming armor penetration is how this reads. It attacks that target your unit, -1 AP. Monolith has a 2+ safe. As stock, as standard. This is really, really powerful.
And it's significant as well because you won't usually be able to get cover. So whereas previously you might have been banking on, skirting around some scenery pieces to try and get some cover saves against like last scanners, melters, that sort of thing. This puts you back where you were before, basically, to be able to take the really heavy firepower on some of those things.
And the fact that it works in the fight phase as well, so even being punched in combat by AP3 attacks, AP4 attacks, theoretically, I think this is just awesome. I love this detachment so much.
Brilliant. Well, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. That was the last of our Warhammer 40,000 Faction Focus series. You can watch the whole series on the Warhammer YouTube channel. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you later.
All right. Let's freaking talk about this, shall we? Oh my gosh. All right. So the second half of this live stream is obviously going over combos. And even if you're not a Necron player, and the 250 of you that are in here, seriously, thank you guys so much. This is by far the biggest live stream I've ever done. This is crazy. So appreciate y'all hanging out. And if you are not even a Necron player, I think you're going to hang out because I'm just going to go over all the initial busted combos we can think of right now that you're going to get to look forward to at your local game store or tournament coming soon. So let me just readjust some things here now that we have that over so I can see a little bit better. And yeah, this is fantastic. Let's see what it says at the end here. As with all the detachments in our faction focus series, the Necron ones each cost 1 detachment point. So as we expected, take the 3 new ones. So they're basically saying these 3 that we announced today, we can combine all of these together because in 11th edition, we're going to have for a 2,000 point Strike Force army, you're going to be able to combine 3 of them together. Okay. And they've said you can combine it with the Hand of the Dynasty with Annihilation Legion. So they're essentially saying that Annihilation Legion is going to be at least 2 detachment points. It won't be 3. And tiny bit of sanity 2 destroys inflated ones. Okay. So if I had to say, okay, if you're like, yo, what do you think is the strongest right now? This one by far. Leaps and bounds. Okay. This, I want you, okay, after we get off the live stream, I want you to look at this attachment and then go watch the disposition breakdown I just did. And it'll explain why this is going to be very, very strong. Okay. Now, the question is, like a lot of people are mentioning in chat, is we still don't know as far as Star Shatter and Awakened, how many detachment points those are going to be. Because I'll be honest, I still think those are the front runners of what I would probably want to play going into 11th edition. I think they have the strongest rule set based on what we've seen so far and how 11th edition is going to play. Of course, I'm going to be breaking down like a lot more videos on YouTube, etc., talking about that. Okay, so if you just joined into the chat or into the stream, so the biggest thing with this detachment is obviously we've been wanting to run more Necrons and Immortals for a while, or Necron Warriors and Immortals for a while. Now look, okay, we've been running that freaking 20 Warrior brick forever. To all those that absolutely hate that freaking 20 Warrior brick, it's dead, okay? It was dead, honestly, guys. I hate to break it to you. It was dead before they even announced the 9-inch coherency thing. As soon as they announced cleave, it's dead. Like, as soon as we saw the footprints of, like, you couldn't hide behind all these walls and line the walls or anything like that, it was dead, right? So, as far as that goes, I think that's a huge bonus. Now, with Immortals specifically, this seems very interesting in Canoptic Court. This could also, I think Phalanx could also be very interesting, okay? Especially because I could see Phalanx coming out at 2 detachment points, and I'll make a separate video on this, but I think the 3 detachments that I'm most high on, I think initially right now going into 11th edition would be Awakened, Star Shatter, and Obeisance Phalanx. And let's talk about the less maybe obvious on Obeisance Phalanx here for a second. So Obeisance Phalanx, if we flip over, let's go over to, because I have the iPad pulled up here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. Here we go. So let's go to Phalanx here for a second. So Phalanx, if you guys didn't already know, the detachment rule is you get +1 to wound if you're a Noble, Lich Guard, or Triarch unit. Okay. So with the combination of this new detachment, you have the ability. There's a lot of synergy in terms of being able to get the where is it, the crit 5s. So for 1 CP, excluding a Titanic unit, you could just give crit 5s to the Immortals, so you don't need to spend the extra points to get the character or the Plasmancer in there. You could just run potentially Immortal solo that move up. And this is based on if Phalanx is going to be a 2 detachment points, which I believe it probably will, because it's not affecting all of our units. It's specifically affecting Nobles, Lich Guard, and Triarch models, right? So your Immortals are Assault. They could get crit 5s. I believe, isn't there an enhancement in here that gives you, yeah, you could put an Overlord in there. So you're gonna have you're gonna have freaking Immortals that are plus, that can reroll the hit roll and potentially +1 to wound if the Overlord is in there. It seems crazy. It seems so good. So you could get the reroll the hits and the reroll the wounds with the plus. So you could just have this like laser unit that seems really strong. And it's not super expensive. I mean, roughly you're looking at, what is it, 150 for Immortals right now, plus the Overlord, which is like 85. So you're looking at like a 230 point kit. Not too bad. I think honestly where this detachment is going to shine is, I feel like in units of 5. Like if you run some sort of MSU build, especially with the sticky, because if you can put like a Chronomancer in there and you just move up, get some points, fire and fade off, it just seems really, really strong. Yeah, I mean, the Immortal unit also fire and fades with Chrono. It's insane. The unit is expensive, but great. Yeah, I think this by far is the strongest one, okay? This one is cute, okay? Like, it's cute. You know, it's fun. It's cool. It's fine. I really don't like, you know, it's cool. It's fun. But let's go down to this one, okay? So we have Dude, okay. Necron Titanic Fly. So this is going to cover the monolith. This I was not expecting. This is crazy. Okay. So this is going to cover the monolith, and this is going to cover the Tesseract Vault. All right. So mainly is what we're looking at. Now, again, if we can take this, dude, if we can take this detachment with Obeisance Phalanx, look, you heard it here first. I'm sorry. This is what's coming, guys. Okay. This is what's coming. So you're telling me I'm going to have a Tesseract Vault that can move 14 inches, and I can give it -1 damage for a CP. I can also give it, and again, this is based on if we can combine it with Obeisance Phalanx. Okay. For 1 CP, I can give it -1 damage. Actually, yes, yeah, I can give it -1 damage because it doesn't exclude Titanic. Okay, that's the biggest thing. And then I can give it Armor Contempt, so it's -1 AP. So it's -1 AP, -1 damage. Granted, that's a 2 CP play, so that is kind of expensive. And then you could also put it next to a Spider or something like that, and it has a native Feel No Pain. Because I do believe that, let me double check here while I have it pulled up, because I believe that Necrosaur, where is he? Amentar. Necrosaur's ability excludes Titanic, I believe, right? His aura. I'm almost positive. Oh no, it's a Necron unit. Oh my gosh. So you get a Feel No Pain 5-up against mortals and psychic attacks. Oh, 1 CP per phase though. Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's true. Gosh darn it. Yeah, that's true. It's gonna come up more often than we think. Okay. We can't stack strats. Okay, we have an option. So maybe, I mean, okay. So if we can't stack it, maybe this is better. See, I think the problem is, since we're not getting the benefit of cover anymore, most things that are going into a monolith or going into a Tesseract Vault are going to be AP3 or AP4, right? So because you don't benefit from the cover, this is kind of like, this is good, but because we have the invul with the Tesseract Vault, it's not going to come up, I think, as much as maybe we would want, just because a lot of the guns that are going to be going after it are going to be probably high AP anyway, but it will help in certain situations, like for sure, like AP2 and AP1, this will help, right? But outside of that, it's going to be kind of a fringe case. So, you know, Phalanx, I think this is still interesting though, because Phalanx, you can really benefit from, if I pull this up here, this is what I'm talking about. So if we go to, let me bring back up the iPad here. So if we go to Phalanx, Stratagems, Territorial Obsession is really good. So this is on a Lich Guard or Triarch unit, so you can run Triarch Stalkers to go up to OC7, because they're OC4 base, and then can add +3 OC, so they're going to go up to OC7. I think Stalkers, just in general Triarch Stalkers, I think value is going to go up just because they have the ignore cover ability. So being able to scout them forward and then blip ignore cover on a unit, so essentially now you're giving them a +1 to hit, which is awesome. I think is going to be really, really good. Let's go to, let's see, where is it? Yeah, this one right here. So Nano Assembly. Your opponent's shooting phase of the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Necron unit from your army that's selected as a target is -1 damage. And this does not exclude Titanic. So this would work for the Monolith. And this would also work for the Tesseract Vault, which is freaking awesome. Let me double check here. I will say, okay, one thing to point out, if we flip back to this is also in the shooting phase or the fight phase, which is nice because you could use this in the shooting phase if they're trying to blip you with like a bunch of AP1 and AP2 fire. and then you could, and then if they're trying to charge you with a unit, and then do -1 damage. Seems really good. So that initial combo there, I think, would be very interesting. If Star Shatter ends up being 2 detachment points, this combined with Star Shatter also seems crazy strong. Being able to, have a fast moving, Monolith and Tesseract Volt, and then being able to synergize that with them getting out of like an Eternity Gate and shooting up stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to analyze this a lot more in Theorycraft, because this is this is great. I mean, we could honestly, guys, we couldn't have asked for a better 3 detachments. Not gonna lie. So let's start a new poll, and I want to open it up to you guys. And let's get another poll going here. Necron 60%. I mean, it's a lot lower than I thought. I thought that was going to be actually a little bit higher. But all right, let's start a poll. What do you think? What do you think is our best new 1 DP detachment? Let's see. So we have transdimensional deployment. Okay. We have, also, if you guys just joined in, the strat that they didn't preview in this article that was on the video is this detachment will get this stratagem. This one right here, the hyper mobility protocols will get this stratagem. So you basically get to Overwatch again, essentially is what this is, during the shooting phase, in simple terms. And then we'll also get a sticky strat, which is crazy. So good. So we have transdimensional. Whoa, what's going on? TS Silent King plus 2 Doomsday Arcs, Imhotep, Chrono, 10 Immortals, Wraith, Nightbringer. Seems pretty good. If you can fit all that in, I think we're cooking. That sounds like all good to me. Hyper mobility protocols. All right, I want to see which one you guys think is the best here. Hyper mobility protocols, and we have the Farron's Army. Farron's Armory. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I put the detachment rules. Hypermobility. Oh, it's Hand of the Dynasty. Sorry. I put you guys get the idea. It's still early. I'm waking up. All right, hypermobility protocols in the lead. I've convinced you guys, but maybe you didn't need as much convincing. Whoa, man, transdimensional deployment? You guys think that is better than the move? Your opponent's strength. Well, what am I missing on this transdimensional deployment? I'm surprised. Like, this is basically the only thing you're getting out of this is the Tomb Blades have Deep Strike, which is cool. But guys, you got to remember too, the thing with the 11th edition, the change to heroic intervention is massive. Like, there's not yes, you can still jail your opponent, but the idea of being able to fire and fade and all of that is kind of gone because of the fact that you can spend the 2 CP and just charge the unit. So the typical jank that we're used to of being able to just send out the Tomb Blades and go deny an objective or go do something, you kind of have to be a lot more careful about that now, because of the fact that your opponent can just charge you with the heroic intervene stratagem, right? So there's not going to be as much play there. But yeah, the hypermobility, that makes sense. 70% of you. Yeah, I mean, this just seemed like, I mean, the best part about this is this could just go in anything. And the fact that, like, I mean, as of right now, 5 Immortals is 70 points. 10 Warriors is 90 points. Obviously, that's probably going to change coming up with the data slate. But yeah, I mean, just being able to send out like a 5 point or 70 point unit that's 2 OC that could just run out and go do an action, sticky it, and call it good. I mean, God, man, that just seems so good. Yeah, Gladstone, it's 6 inches only. You are correct. But the thing is that a lot of the terrain area, like on your opponent's natural, the problem is those terrain areas aren't very wide. So just by putting a unit on there, if they have the unit anywhere remotely forward on their terrain area, like on their natural, they're going to be able to charge you. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Like any good opponent or good player is like just they're going to be setting that up. I mean, that's something that I've already been thinking about is the fact like I set up this unit, a unit of race or whatever on the natural and just measuring out that 6 inches, and it prevents like, you know, armies like Tyranids, Guard, GSC, like those armies that are very much like control style builds that just want to like dump bodies usually on objectives. They can't really do that anymore. It's kind of has to be a different play style because they put the bodies on there to try to deny you. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to charge you with race and kill your unit, right? Or I'm going to charge you with the Nightbringer. I'm going to charge you with the Void Dragon, right? So that play pattern is fundamentally going to change going into 11th edition. So, is it not end of charge phase timing after the scout? Well, the scout would happen, or basically what I'm referring to is with the tomb blades. Like a play pattern right now that we would do is you would use the tomb blades to go score some sort of secondary and go deny your opponent's, in this case, objective or now terrain area going into 11th edition. But the problem is now is that when you, in the shooting phase, you fire and fade, you get onto the terrain area. But if your opponent has a unit on their terrain area, their natural expansion, a lot of times if that Tomb Blade unit doesn't charge, which they're probably not going to because they're squishy, they're 4-up save, they have 2 wounds, like they're going to die. They're not there for that. Your opponent's just going to charge your Tomb Blades and kill them, right? So like you're not really going to be able to do that play pattern anymore. Is basically what I'm trying to say. But let's see. Yeah, okay, so this seems obviously very strong in Canoptic Court. Seems very strong, and then also in Star Shatter, right? Because the nice thing with Star Shatter, unlike Awakened, is I don't need to spend the extra points for the unit to put in the character to get the +1 to hit, right? So if we take Star Shatter at face value, you're telling me that my Immortals and my vehicles and mounted are all going to be, and again, this is pre-facing. I am assuming right now with context that Star Shatter Arsenal might be 2 detachment points. If it's 3, this is not going to be a possibility. But I would say that we could bank on Obeisance Phalanx being 2. But let's talk about Star Shatter for a second. So Star Shatter, they're +1 to hit, a unit of 5, 70 points. They have Assault, Rapid Fire within, it would be 12 inches. And if you're running Xeris in that detachment as well, they could be AP2. So they would get, and then full wound rerolls, right? God, this just seems so good. It just seems so good. Like my mind is just gonna have to sit on this for a little bit. I think damage potential wise, like I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this detachment, I think is gonna go best in Obeisance Phalanx, Canoptic, or Star Shatter. I think potentially this detachment would probably even be better in Obeisance Phalanx or Canoptic Court. Just because of the fact that in Canoptic Court, you get the full hit rerolls, right? So you're benefiting even more from this ability. And that's what we're always looking for. Like, how can I combine rule sets to have better synergy with these rules, right? So now, you know, Immortals were already slow. They only move 5 inches. But now, you know, being able to assault, they can move extra. And you're going to get full hit rerolls, full wound rerolls, and Canoptic Court potentially with Rapid Fire 1. You could run Necrosaur in there with Sustain. You could run Illuminor Xeris. Like, it, all of a sudden, it just becomes extremely reliable damage, right? Because anytime, like right now, I think already in 10th edition, if you have a unit that is high volume, that is AP2 ignore cover with lethals, is like one of the best profiles you could have just for reliable damage, just because the fact that a lot of really good units are like 2-up save, 4-up invul. So now you're going to be able to put most things on their invul in high volume. And we don't need to necessarily worry about running DDAs to get our damage through because it's so swingy, right? Like, I mean, I remember the night meta last summer, where it's like, you know, we were running in Star Shatter 3 DDAs in the Silent King, and you'd be like, oh yeah, like that totally kills one night. And a lot of times it was a maybe, right? You would kill one big night with all of that output. But now with this, it's a lot easier, I think, to predict the damage of what this unit can do, which is very exciting. The Necron Warriors, I think there could be some play there. I don't know. It's tough to say. I think just the trying to think, because like if you had 20 warriors in Canoptic Court, I guess you would have to run the Tomb Crawlers with the Immortals to synergize. That is the one thing, because you have to give them the Cryptek keyword to synergize with the strats. So there is that. Lots of things to figure out. So yeah, and Hyper just having like 5 to 10 minutes to teleport around is huge. Yeah, I mean that too, just like going around bopping. And then Tomb Crawlers allow for the ignoring of ballistic skill, which is the biggest hurdle with 11th edition new cover system. Ignore hit. Ooh, yeah, that is actually a good point. That is a good call out. Okay, actually, let's pull that up. Let's go back to the iPad here. That is a really good call out. Okay, so with Immortals in Canoptic Court, you run the Tomb Crawlers, right? Because you have to run them, and the reason why is because then they get the Canoptic keyword down here, unless this changes. But that's the big like unlock with Tomb Crawlers and Canoptic now, is you can attach them to Warriors or Immortals, and then they would fully synergize with Canoptic Court. Again, this is in the preface if Canoptic Court is going to end up being 2 detachment points. Now, what he's referring to is each time a model in this unit makes a range attack within 12 inches, which is perfect synergy with the Tools of Dominion upgrade, because you get Rapid Fire 1, so you'd have to be within 12 inches anyway for the Immortal shots. You're going to get ignore any or all modifiers to the ballistic skill or the hit or the wound roll. Seems good. It seems really good, guys. It seems like we're going to be able to stack a lot of buffs on there. Now, I will say, it does seem, look, I'm just excited as you guys, but I think what it also comes down to is it's not going to be cheap to do this either. Okay, like if we wanted to run, like, I mean, if we pull up, like, let me just pull up let's just go. Let's just make another. Let's just make another one. Let's just go into Canoptic Core because that's what we're talking about right now. We'll just call this 11th. Right. Okay, so like as of right now, before points changes, like if we were to bring a unit of Immortals, right? That's gonna be 150. If we have one of the characters, like if we want a Plasmancer in there, and then we also want the Tomb Crawlers, you know, it does get pretty expensive, right? And plus the upgrade. Like we don't know how much the upgrade is gonna be, but already we're looking at a 265 point detachment. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be, or sorry, not a detachment, 265 point unit, right? So that's gonna be, you know, I mean something to consider. Look, is it gonna do a lot of damage? Absolutely, but we'll have to wait and see. I definitely got a theory craft behind the scenes now that we have all of this this information in front of us. But let's see here. Conclave for ignores cover without needing the crawlers. Without needing Conclave. Oh, Cryptic Conclave. Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I think so yeah, I think Canoptic might not be too let's see here. Okay. And here. And yeah, I think that'll be good there. So yeah, combining the two, I think will be pretty strong. Pretty strong. So now open it up. We got a few more minutes here. If you guys want to drop any more questions here in the chat, let me know. And so Canoptic Solar Pulse for denying cover and an objective 2. Yeah, no, for sure. Very good call out there as well. And yeah, for the friggin' 230 of you, seriously appreciate being here. Appreciate the support and hanging out, talking about these attachments. And let me pull back up here. Let's go back to the reference. Is there anything else you guys want to look at before we sign out here? And I will be live probably sometime tomorrow or come out with some sort of video. So be looking out for that, breaking this down a little bit more. Yeah, that's interesting. So Cursed Legion, yeah, Cursed Legion is going to be interesting. I'm going to be honest. I know initially when all the rules were released, the initial previews, everybody's like, oh man, this is a melee edition. This is gonna be crazy. Melee is gonna be so good. But now that we have the full picture, I really don't know if that's gonna be the case. And the problem is with Cursed Legion is Scorpex. Don't get me wrong, they're very good. They're, as of right now, I mean, they're one of our best damage points per cost available. But the fact is they're still relatively squishy, and the staging points on these boards is not very good from what we've seen previewed so far. So we'll have to see in testing, but my initial impressions is, I hate to say it, guys, but it looks like still fast gun good. Fast gun good. But we will have to wait and see if that is going to be fully true or not. So, Cryptic Conclave. Immortals with Tesla, sus 2 lethals and crits on 5s would be really funny. No, for real. What they meant at the end of the article, you can combine Hand of the Dynasty with Annihilation Legion from Codex Necrons to add a bit of synergy to your swords and inflated ones. Yeah. So, it looks like Annihilation Legion will be 2 detachment points. Maybe it'll be 1. I mean, it could be 1 as well. Who knows? Just want to say you're giving some of the best advice on playing Necrons. Also waiting for a pic of all your crons. Hey, really appreciate the support. Thanks for hanging out and being here. I guess I got to take a picture of the. I'll get one on the channel. I'll post one soon. I got a lot behind me over here. Interesting that the way they wrote hand detachment rules seems to imply shooting / actions are more split. I'm curious if the detachments with more actions access will get action intensive dispositions. So Tactic Blue, if you can, or if you haven't yet, watch my disposition, my disposition video that I did yesterday. I think that will explain a lot more of why this detachment is so strong for us, and I think gives us a lot more options in terms of list design. Like if this wasn't in the picture, I think it would be a lot more linear. But this alone really opens up the door for some very different play patterns, which I'm very excited about. So that'll be really cool. Rapid ingress outside of detection range can be good to counter shooting a bit. Yeah, absolutely. When playing Cursed Legion, what would be better overall? Overlord with Translocation, Lich Guard with swords, or Lich Guard with spears? I would say definitely Lich Guard with the swords. Just because they're going to be more durable. And again, I think getting across the table in 11th edition in terms of staging is going to be a little bit more difficult than I think people realize. So I think still having the swords with the shields is going to be the way to go. I don't play Necrons, but I always learn a ton from you talking about your games. Yo, really appreciate that. And really appreciate that. So thank you for hanging out and all that good stuff. And let's see. Hand of the Dynasty restriction with the Dynasty keyword implied Awaken must be 2 DP. I don't know about that. I mean, if Awaken Dynasty is 2... combine Hand of the Dynasty. I mean, maybe, man. If Awaken Dynasty is 2 DP, we got ourselves a problem. All right, that detachment needs to be 3 DP. All right, yo, we got Nexus Floof in the chat. What's up, man? Freaking go check that guy out. I think Nexus. How do they find you on? Is it just under Floof? I think on YouTube. He's a very good GSC player. We might need to run it back and do some 11th edition testing, because he might just prove me wrong in my disposition hot takes in terms of you don't want to be doing actions, you just want to be killing. Because if there's an army that I think can do it, it might be GSC. And then speaking of that, we got Devious Donut in the chat. Into the Hive Mind here. Yo, what's up, Mr. Matt himself? Congrats on the great Crons rules. But yes, if you want to collab, this is also on my Discord name. Yo, I will reach out to you, definitely. So you guys know, he is a Into the Hive Mind. Go check out his channel. He is a Tyranid player. Been watching a lot of his content. He has a lot of great stuff. Reached out to him recently because I really want to get him on the channel and do a fun video talking about some hot takes on some Tyranid units. All right, I think it's going to be really fun. So be looking out for that. So I will definitely reach out to you and we'll get that going here soon. The Tesseract Volt is zooming around now. For real, I can't believe it. The Tesseract Volt is going 14 inches. 14 inches. What if Annihilation Legion 1 DP and can combine with Cursed Legion? Maybe. Maybe it could be toasty. You're not wrong. I've been preaching about the Cursed Legion Annihilation combination. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Now the last thing we're waiting on is what are the detachment points and what stratagems are included. Because they were talking about you might have even 9 stratagems or more potentially. Now, they did say that in the live stream. So we'll have to see. Yeah, there's no way they're going to let us combine those. Yeah, that would be so busted. Yeah, I think so. I think initially what I've seen with the missions so far and everything, Awaken seems still crazy strong, having the ability to bring back characters. But with this new Necron detachment in the mix, the Hand of the Dynasty, yeah, we're cooking. We are cooking. 36 shots at strength 8, AP 2, 1 damage. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. I really want to know their process to determine what detachment deserves what points. Who knows, man? Your guess is as good as mine. Who really knows? I'm just excited. I'm excited that we finally got our Silver Tide detachment. You know, I was hoping when they released the Maelstrom rules that we would have gotten it, but it's crazy. It's so cool. And for the 200 of you, man, that are in here, seriously appreciate the support. Thank you so much for just hanging out, talking Necrons. Even if you're not a Necron player, hopefully you got a lot of value about the insight today of what to prepare for, I think is the biggest thing in the combos that we're already talking about. You're seeing the scrolling down below just with the Warlord members. Seriously appreciate your guys' support on the channel, all you Warlords out there. And we're definitely going to be releasing, if you're a Warlord, I'll be releasing full practice games on TTS, so you'll be able to see full breakdowns on there. And then it'll also include like tournament preparation, that sort of thing. And then if you're looking for even more personalized stuff, go check out pnw40k.com. Has a little bit more information on the Discord, what that'll include. Really excited to be growing this community going into 11th edition and being able to hang out with you guys a little bit more and just freaking nerd out over this game. So very excited for the content to come over the next few weeks, and really going to try to tailor it more broadly. Obviously, I am a Necron main, but I think how I like to explain things and approach the game, I really want to give it more broad perspective, especially for newer players coming in or players that have been playing for a little bit, and you really just kind of sharpen that sword a little bit and just become better at the game. So let's see here. Let's see. Thanks for the videos and streams, man. They're really helpful. Hey, really appreciate that. Yo, Mountain Dew Man won. Yo, actually, so Mountain Dew Man, hilarious. I just got a pack of the Mountain Dew yesterday at freaking Fred Meyer's. It's like their new Baja Blast Lime Twist, some crazy name. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Monolith could teleport your infantry characters like Xeris and Necrosaur and give them lethal hits and Necrosaur sustain 3. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. I don't know about the I don't think the sustain stacks though. I think that's the only thing, unless they've clarified that. I'm pretty sure I don't think sustain will. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure sustain does not stack. But it's still a very strong combo regardless. Like it yeah, I mean it just opens up the door for some crazy combos now, like double monolith builds, double tesseract builds. I mean yeah, even that was me, man. That was me. Just even. Oh, they base the detachment points on how many units get buffed. So, like, Awaken, Curse Legion, Star Shard are going to be 3 points because that's, like, over 70% of the models. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We don't know. They said sustain stacks in 11th. Whoa. Whoa. They said sustain stacks? Whoa. That is crazy if that's true. That's true? That is wild. That is actually crazy. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be cooking. We're going to be cooking with some ideas, so I got to say. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Khan's wrong. I'm not saying Khan's wrong. Yeah, Floof, maybe back. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, okay. See, this is what I'm saying. We gotta be careful. That's why I've been waiting to talk about a lot of the rule stuff until we see the full. I want to see everything before we start talking about stuff, because I don't want us. The big thing for me is I don't want us learning in the wrong way. It was only the orc enhancement that said if you already have it, oh, then it stacks. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there was a specific artist that called out sustain stacking. Look, let's just take Sus 3 out of the picture until we get the core rules. Sus 2 is more than enough, okay? Sus 2 lethals, freaking crit 5s, full hit and win rerolls. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be actually nuts. I'm so freaking excited. All right. We got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. And then I got to cut it off. So if you got a question, now is the time. Now is the time to ask it. But the 200 of you that are still in here, seriously, I freaking appreciate it. I got a lot of content coming out over the next couple weeks. Want to do a lot more collaborations with other creators, and because I think it's just fun. It's just cool. I mean, we just love talking about Warhammer and just nerding out over stuff and different ideas, and that's what you guys want to hear about. So, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I love that type of that content. So, Cryptech Conclave offering 4-up Immortals could be interesting if it's 1 DP. Yeah. Core rules available next week. Core rules available next week. How do you know? How do you know? Did they say that? Did they say that like earlier yesterday? I know there was like a leak, but it was kind of a sloppy leak. You attach a Cryptech to the Locust Destroyers and Curse. Do they also get the infantry keyword? Yes, but the problem is if you're trying to have them go through a wall. Oh, actually, that's a good call out. Hold on here. I see what you're saying. Hold on. Let's double check. They would get the infantry keyword, but the problem is they still have the mounted keyword. So I think specifically to answer your question, because you're wondering like, hey, can the Locust Destroyers go through the wall? I believe that's still not going to work because they do have fly, but they also have mounted. And so because they're mounted, I believe that they're still not going to be able to go through walls. If they just had fly, then that would be the case. All right. Oh, it says the end of the article? Oh, shoot. Okay, let's go back. Hold on. End of the article. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that is I think that is a very good stopping place right there. So we're going to have a couple videos coming out, obviously, over this next week. And it sounds like I think we might need to just hop back on for another live stream next week once the core rules are out, go through it, what it means for Necrons. Obviously, I'm going to have a lot more thoughts of initial possibly busted combos, some synergies, but there is a lot to unpack here. Also be looking for Only Crons podcast next week. Hop on with the boys, talk about our ideas. I think we're going to have a lot of different thoughts and opinions, so that'll be fun to go over and talk about. But seriously, for all the people that joined today, really appreciate your support. Thank you for hanging out with me and talking all things Necrons. And again, if you want to join, become a member of the channel, there's going to be full practice TTS games in full. That'll be on there. And then also tournament preparation videos, that sort of thing. And then if you're looking for even more insight behind the scenes, some of my latest strategies, tactics, wanting to hear my thoughts and lists in real time, maybe consider checking out the Discord. We'd love to see you guys in there and grow that community over 11th edition because I have a lot of exciting stuff coming up in there. But other than that, seriously, appreciate you guys and all the support. And as always, we will catch you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend, y'all. Peace.